Barbarian is directed by Zach Kurger and stars Georgina Campbell, Bill Skarsgård, and Justin Long. When a woman accidentally books an Airbnb with a complete stranger, she will find that the questions raised about the house she's staying in go deeper and deeper. Just from the trailers and just how much it looked like so many other horror movies, especially the generic ones that usually come out nowadays, I wasn't really expecting anything good. I wasn't really expecting anything bad, to be fair, but nothing really good. I have to say, after watching it, thank God. The trailers gave nothing away about this movie. This is one of the few films where the trailer, instead of giving too much away, gives nothing away. Everything you see in those 2-minute clips is just the tip of the iceberg of madness this movie has to offer. I really loved this movie. So little is given away in the advertisements for this film that I don't even know how to start my review without immediately spoiling the movie. With that said, I will not spoil this movie because I really think everyone should go see it. With that said, first of all, the acting in the movie is really good. Georgina Campbell is good in the movie, and she really has some great chemistry with Bill Skarsgård in their scenes. But if I'm being honest, my favorite performance in the entire movie came from the one actor who I didn't even really know was even in the film, Justin Long. I haven't seen this guy since Dodgeball and Tusk, and it was great seeing him in this film. He truly was the best part of the film, mainly because his character is so hateable and so irritating, but he so plays into just how much you're supposed to hate this character. He in turn becomes extraordinarily funny. Like in all of these horror scenarios, he makes every single wrong decision, but he makes it in the most selfishly entertaining way possible. I know that kind of sounds all over the place, and that's mainly because I'm trying not to spoil what his character is in the movie. So I'll just leave it off at the fact that he is by far the worst character in the entire movie, and that's why he is my favorite character in the entire movie. And in terms of the direction and the cinematography, this film is not only gorgeous, it is one of the most amazingly shot horror films I've seen in a while. Not only are a lot of the shots and setups ungodly gorgeous, but just from the way that the film knows how to shoot certain things, the way that the film knows when and how to focus on certain objects and people, the way that the film knows when to go to a Dutch angle or when to go to a really obscure angle, or the way that the film knows when to change up the lens in order to really make the audience feel uneasy and feel like the movie is changing up its style a bit. I know what I'm saying sounds like elementary level film school stuff, but you would be surprised how many filmmakers, especially horror filmmakers, lack that edge. A lot of horror filmmakers nowadays lack the imagery, lack the focus, and lack the style this film has. And Zach Kurger and his cinematographer should absolutely be commended for that. But when you get down to it, the end-all be-all of not just this film, but any film in this genre is the question, is the movie scary? Yes, it is eerie, it is creepy, it is scary, and there were times where I was like curled up in my seat like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And while a lot of that does come down to the excellent direction, cinematography, and especially the sound design, a good chunk of that really does come down to the titled Barbarian of the film. Again, we'll not give anything away about what the Barbarian, who the Barbarian, whatever the hell the Barbarian situation is in this film, but when you see it and when you start to understand more about it, a lot of complexity starts to become of the situation. You do get a lot of horror vibes from the feel of the monster and everything that's going on in this, but you also get a lot of sympathy from it and even some dark comedy. This movie truly knows how to mix tones very well, but with that said, this is a horror movie and horror movie first. And the best part about any single horror movie and the fact that a lot of horror filmmakers fail to realize is the fact that most of the time, the stuff that we don't see in film is oftentimes the scariest part of a movie, more so than when we actually see something. And that is why, even though we know the whole umbrella origin behind the Barbarian, we don't know a great deal about it, even though a lot of its origins are heavily hinted at. And just from those hints alone, it is far creepier and far scarier and far more unsettling than anything the film could have shown or explained. And all that is just the tip of the iceberg of all the things I love about this movie that I can't spoil because no spoilers. But with that said, does the movie have flaws? Well, not many. There's just one big flaw with the movie, in my opinion, but it is a significant flaw. Throughout the first 2/3 of the movie, the pacing of the film is excellent. I was always intrigued, I was always entertained, and I was always wanting to know what happened next. I was never bored, I never felt the movie was rushing it. It felt perfect. That was until the last third, and it felt kind of drawn out. Maybe it was because I was constantly trying to figure out how the movie was going to end. Maybe it was because the movie was trying to figure out on its own how it wanted to end. But with that said, no matter whose fault it was, whether it was my fault or the film's fault, I still have the complaint that even though the first 2/3 of the movie are excellently paced, the last third of the movie felt a bit drawn out. But with that said, that's really my only big complaint with the movie. The rest of the film, I really loved. The acting is good, the direction and cinematography is excellent, and the mix of tones is fantastic while also being, first and foremost, an extremely effective horror film. The movie does feel drawn out by the end, like the filmmakers themselves were trying to figure out how they should wrap it up, but that is truly the film's only big flaw. Going into theaters, I was expecting nothing from this film. Maybe a C rating at most, but coming out of it, I was honestly shocked by just how much I loved this movie, just how surprising it was, and just from the fact that what I had just seen was one of the best horror films of this year. I'm going to give Barbarian an A. Well guys, thank you so much for watching, and let me know in the comments down below, what film surprised you the most in your entire life? For me, I can't really think of any film off the top of my head that truly surprised me the way that a TV show off the top of my head surprised me. And that TV show was The Boys. When that first came out in 2019, I had no expectations, and now it is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are the best. And don't forget to click subscribe and click the bell icon down below to stay up to date on all things movie, all things TV, all things nerd.